Well, Studio Archon sent me some minis to review and some terrain. Because if you didn't know, there's a new Dungeon and Lasers Kickstarter that has just ridiculously destroyed its goal. All right, the goal was $60,000. It has 14 days left to go. I think it launched just today. It is currently sitting at $570,000. Okay, think about that for a sec. I'll have a link in the description where you can go and check it out. But in the meantime, we're going to dive into these boxes. I've got some very official fancy paperwork that we can go over here, and we're going to talk about it. So if you want to see what's in these, and I'll bring it in close in just a sec here, stay tuned. All right, so to clarify, first of all, I have my letter here. And what you probably want to see, and which probably the most time effective, is to talk about the town sewers room set, right? That's what's described here in my letter. That's part of the 3rd edition that's live on the Kickstarter right now. A bunch of the other stuff is stuff from Dungeons and Lasers 1 and Dungeons and Lasers 2. And I'll showcase some of that. I won't go through everything in detail. Maybe I will in a future video or something like that. But they've been around for a while, so there's plenty of videos out there where you can go and find that. But I'll showcase them to show the quality, so you know what kind of stuff you're getting into. But I do have a couple of bits on the letter that I want to address first before we look at the minis. So what I have is a tech preview of Dungeons & Lasers 3rd edition, aka Woodhaven, which is, again, if I were to jump over here, we could show the Kickstarter. Right here it is. And you can see, again, we're just destroying stretch goals left and right. There is a ton of content here, and this is kind of what we're going to be showing off, this sewer stuff right here, which has some like interesting translucent bits to it too. I mean, look at this, flexing these again. Let me get back to the letter, and we'll get into that. So it says this is a prototype of a town sewer set. It features clear plastic technology, which we are mastering at the moment. It's important to know that what I have in my hands is an early version of that technology. It has a few issues, which we, at this moment, when you read this letter, have already solved, which is good news. So the issues that were in the copy that you'll see here that have been fixed by the final product is the final version has much more durable clear plastic elements, features clips with built-in pins. It was a mistake during the tooling process, and has much smoother clips than now, fixed in new tooling, and it was purely human error. We hope you have a lot of fun with our product as we had designing them. Take care, the Archon crew. Also, it's hand-signed with a little smiley face, which really goes to show you that, and this actually looks like like the smiley face is a little crooked, so it's not like it's just a stamp, or it's a very clever stamp. Anyway, so I'm going to bring it in close. Like I said, we're going to focus on that town sewers, the set from the new one, and then I'll pick out some of my favorite pieces from the other ones to showcase for all of you. And a reminder, link in the description if you'd like to go and back the Kickstarter now. So I wanted to show, before I break them out, that they are all sprued minis. As you can see, they do have flashing things we need to trim. But if you look at the quality of these, like, they say they're ready to play. And, like, this is a nice dark gray with super high quality texture. You could paint these to give them a more customized, unique feel, but honestly, you could probably just use them like they are, and they'd be fine. Now, there's a variety. This box came with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the sort of, I guess, gray terrain. Actually, it looks like it's more 3 of the terrain, and then 2 of the clips. All right, so we have different style clips here. And then we have the super cool translucent ones, which is kind of one of the specialties of this Kickstarter. Take a look at this. Look at that. That is a thing of beauty. And we've got three of those. And these are pretty, I mean, they're substantial. They feel heavier than the other ones that I just picked up. And they also do have, you can see the clips are integrated into this. So I guess what I'm going to have to do is take a little break, clip all of the sprues off, or we'll see if I have to clip or just, bend, and then try to assemble this. The other thing I'll say is I didn't see assembly instructions in the box. Not that it's rocket science, but if you're unfamiliar, it might prove a little tricky. but it looks pretty self-explanatory. And again, you might have those kind of assembly instructions in the final product. This is just the Kickstarter sample. So here is a water piece of, sewer terrain. And you can see on the bottom, there are all these different keyways. And on the sides, there are little posts, kind of like Lego Technic posts. So if I take one of these little clips that I clipped out, now that one has a little bit of flashing on the side. So here, I'll take this one. Now there's different kinds of clips, but if I look at this, we push it right in there. I'll just do that real quick off screen, and then it sits flush now. And the post on this one just sits right in there. So if I take this other one and clip that little bit of flashing off and flip it over, put in the clip here, which all fits nice and easy, snaps in place. And then I take our little wall, and then as you can see, it'll fit right there, right there. I just push that in place. And now we have a wall with some sewer water there. I put in the second piece, and then I went ahead and installed a couple corner pieces. And as you can see, you can see the clips here where everything kind of slots into. And then again, the same thing here. And again, there's the gap here because I still was kind of struggling getting these two to match up perfectly. But I think that, again, is some of the stuff that will be rectified, with the final product, because we got that note that this was still kind of early. But either way, I mean, even look at this. This is like a really nice joint here. This is super easy to click together. The clip system, really intuitive. Again, someone who's never used it before, I was able to figure it out. And from what I've seen on the Kickstarter, and we'll do a little bit more going through that, they even make vertical clips, so you can clip on to go up. Now, this particular set doesn't have any, but I thought so this is kind of, again, what I wanted to showcase, because this is some of the stuff that's available new, especially with this translucent pieces here in the Kickstarter. But they sent me a whole bunch of other stuff, some stretch goals and other stuff from the second set and the first set. So I thought I would showcase just some of the boxes, and because some of it I think you can probably put together what it is, and then some I'll showcase, on the up close cam, things that I think are really cool. So I'm a D&D channel, so sci-fi is not really my jam, but I do, me personally, I love sci-fi, but as far as content, they did send me 2 boxes of the sci-fi core set, which is basically just high-tech, cybernetic-looking walls and floors and hallways, right? We've got some long walls, regular walls, long floor tiles, short floor tiles, doorways, and then obviously the clips that connect them. I actually got 2 of the boxes you saw are these. So it's not just for fantasy. This is kind of the lasers part of Dungeons and Lasers. We have a dwarven mine, which you can kind of see there is, again, very similar walls, floors, long walls, short walls, and doorways. It is kind of rough stone with timber sort of supports. That's pretty self-explanatory. We have the Hall of Heroes, which is kind of a similar, less kind of mine-ish and more worked stone, right? So you can see that there. And if we turn it over, you can see, kind of give you a good outline of what's on the back. Now, these 3 boxes were the stretch goals for Dungeons and Lasers second edition. And this is basically just set dressing, right? Bits and bobs. You can take a look at the box. Look at all the little things. Now, this is a combo sci-fi and fantasy, and it's everything from, benches to chairs, computer terminals, bridges, doors, gateways, mushrooms, kegs, little kind of fairy creatures, maybe some... So I see like a Gatling turret, a bar sign, a neon sign, all sorts of stuff. So you can see, here you can see sci-fi and fantasy themed, universal scale, and then just all of the pieces. We have The Druid Was Right, and this is a set of animal companions, which we'll showcase. And we have Durkar, the Sovereign Serpent, which is a dragon, which I'm curious to put together because it is a sprued dragon, and I'm wondering if this one requires glue, because all the other stuff we put together so far have all just been, you know, snapped together. So I'm curious what we need to do that. So as this is not a Kickstarter preview set, this one comes with a manual, which if we open up, shows how to assemble all of the separate minis. Clip, 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 clipping away at the sprues. All right, so here are 3 of the animal companion sets, or whatever. Oh, it's not really. This is a vending machine mimic, which I thought was interesting. And this is Geralt the Wolf, sort of a wolf wielding a greatsword, and Brienne the Bear, a sort of armored bear. Now, these all came, this was about, the bases were separate, and each was about 3 or 4 pieces, with the exception of the vending machine. It was the front, the back, and the tongue. And you can see here a seam. You can see it a little bit more so here. But all in all, not bad for being sprued minis that you need to clip together yourself. Honestly, folks, for what may be the first time in my adult life, I have no super glue, cyanoacrylate glue of any kind, so assembling this dragon, unfortunately, is just not going to happen. But I do have the pieces that I can show. So unlike the other ones, this one will require glue. So here you can see, but I mean, just like look at the detail on these pieces. So this is obviously sort of the neck body of the dragon. Here is tail, part of the tail, and then this would just kind of glue in there. I wanted to go back to the Kickstarter because I could honestly make a whole separate video just on the Kickstarter to showcase all of that. By the way, since we started this video, we have now broke 600,000 raised here on this. 13 days left to go. And I just wanted to do a quick scroll down to show you, I mean, look at all these stretch goals so far. But it says for every 40, for the first 48 hours, backers get a free Nubble model set. So this is kind of this demon butcher type. But we can scroll down and just look through some of the stuff that's available. Here's the clips, a little close-up of the clips I showed you. And then again, you can see that they're flexible and they have a little bit, they have strength to them, so you're not going to break them. And again, yeah, they're a universal scale. So let's go down. You can see they come with the minis. We showed off some of those. Here's what I was telling you about the vertical clips to build upwards. And then we can see there are themes, and anything new here is going to be new for this set, right? So here you can see different color varieties of the sewer set that we showed off there. Again, all the different pieces. Here's a royal castle set with just, you know, more of a castle stonework rather than some of the other ones we've seen. And then again, you can obviously do comparisons where you're combining your sewer system with your city or your town. We have a wooden cottage, so we've got wood texture. We have a Tudor mansion, so a lot fancier inlays and things. A stone tower. We now have city streets out here. Again, you saw the kind of use of the city streets with the sewer, which I thought was really nice. Here's a set of different roof tiles. And then we have new NPC, new like minis, character minis. We have the Town Folk starter set showing off all of these different characters, which are, look like they are all new. So there's a whole campaign to go along with this, which is pretty cool. And then here are the dragons, right? This is the one we were just showing off. But as you can see, there are a variety of other dragon types that you can choose to get. Look at this one, even 5-headed here. Right, we've got kind of, here's the Xeno dragon, right? So it's a xenomorphic dragon. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's what that is. There's so much stuff. The quality is unrivaled, honestly. And, you know, with the exceptions of a handful of things, like the terrain itself is all click lock, right? You're clipping it together with clips and, you know, pressure fit, so you don't have to worry about gluing things together, which also makes it modular, so you can break it apart and switch it up if you need to. And again, I think personally, the color choices they made and the quality of them, you could use them unpainted and it's not bad. Obviously, if you want to paint them and make them go to a whole nother level, you can. But unpainted, like that sewer system, I think it looks fine. I wouldn't change that. You could, obviously, if you wanted to add the highlights or change things like, you know, different bits about it. But I think it looks great as like a water substitute as it stands. And with those dark gray walls with the stone, it kind of works. So anyway, I wanted to say thank you to Studio Archon and the Dungeons and Lasers team for sending this over to me for review purposes. I obviously have a lot of sprue cutting to do to get through all of these. And then, you know, I'll just add it to my ever-growing list of unpainted minis that maybe one day, when I retire and my kids are grown, I'll have time to sit down and actually paint them. But anyway, folks, again, link in the description to the Kickstarter if you want to go back. It is short turnaround rate, only 13 days. So if you want to get in on it, you better jump on it now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.